talk briefly about your goals in Kenya?
Thank you. First of all, we have very big goals now, 200,000, a million. Why not a million members? And that's what our members think themselves. The sky is the limit. In fact, Professor Yunus, when you told your airplane story, I was thinking of my airplane story in Jamii Bora. The thief that Sam talked about. Former thief. Wilson Miner, he was actually one of the most wanted criminals in Mathare Valley slum, and that's a very big slum, and there's a lot of criminals there. But what I want you to know, a thief is also a human being. And it's a very unhappy human being who hasn't found anything else to do to survive than to snatch other people's necklaces or handbags. The day he had a chance to join Jamii Bora and change and take a loan of $20, what does your teenagers think about $20? Is it a lot of money? Difficult to get lunch for $20. $20 changed Wilson Miner from a thief to a good person. And he's such a miracle for so many and convincing so many young men to get out of crime that there is another life there through microfinance. And the happiest, Professor Yunus, is his mother, who suffered a lot from having a son who was a criminal, and his wife, who was always in danger of the police coming and shooting her husband. He came with me in an airplane to Arusha from Nairobi. We were invited by European Union of Parliamentarians for Africa. And they wanted me to come with 2 members. I came with Clarice Adjambo, who was a former beggar, and Wilson Miner, a former thief. And we were up in an airplane for the first time, of course, in their lives. And they looked at everything on the ground. It was so exciting, seeing the small houses becoming very small, the whole town becoming very small. And then we flew in over clouds. And Wilson asked, "What is this, Mom, down here?" I said, "These are clouds." "You mean we are above the clouds?" And I said, "Yes, we are above the clouds." Then he said, "You know, Mom, you have always said the sky is the limit. Now I know that not even the sky is the limit for us. We can go to any height." And that has become our motto, my friends. The sky, not even the sky is the limit. A prostitute is not a prostitute because she likes being a prostitute. She's a prostitute because life doesn't give her any other option. She's not a bad woman. She's a good mother who will do anything to keep her kids alive, even selling herself. And I think that is what Professor Yunus and I and everybody else who is involved in microfinance is trying to tell you. Every human being has talents. Some have a lot of talents. There are those who only have one talent, but they at least have some talent. And if we don't keep them down and hold them down, but give them a chance, they'll go up, up, up. Not even the sky will be the limit. And for those of you who are most interested in earning money, and a lot of money, I would like to advise you to think big. If you only have a few consumers around the world, you can only earn so much. There might be room for you, another niche that you can go into. But if everybody in the world is out of poverty, imagine how much more they can consume. So I'm urging you to think like Wilson Miner, the thief, the ex-thief from Mathare Valley slum. Not even the sky is the limit, my friends. There is a market out there that you've never dreamt of. And it will be there if you don't hold them back, if you don't put strains on them, if you don't, even when you try to do good, you can put strains on people by saying, "Oh, I feel very sorry for you, this is what we will do for you." And you take away their initiative. That is true, isn't it? Human beings have initiatives, both men and women, both the old and the young. One of my members in Jamii Bora was an ex-Mau Mau freedom fighter in the 50s. So you can imagine, she's quite an old woman now, she's 84. And she's still starting new businesses at the age of 84. In Jamii Bora, we don't accept excuses. There's no excuse that you're too old. There is no excuse that you're too young. There is no excuse that you never went to school. There is no excuse that in the part of the country where you live, there are no rains, so it's very difficult to do farming because there are droughts most of the time. That is not an excuse to us. And what we say to the women in the semi-arid and arid lands, that it's true, yes, God has not given you rains, but He has given you rains. And you're supposed to use them. Because the water is stored in the ground, we can make a hole and pump up the water, we can irrigate, and you can do farming. And I also remind them, when I ask them, what is the richest country in the world, they always say United States of America, so now you know that. I say, which part of the United States of America is the richest part of the United States? Then they're not so sure. They say Washington, probably New York. I said, no. The richest part of the United States is the part that used to be a desert. Why? Because the rain didn't come automatically, it wasn't free of charge. They had to use their brains. And that's where all the innovations came from. And some of you made tons of money in that part of the country, isn't it? And who built the United States of America? It was the poorest of the poor from Europe who came and plowed up the prairies, started the banks, started the police system, started the housing, built the school, and they had one big dream, was to bring their kids into a better life. And there's no difference between those very poor people that came from Europe and built up the richest country in the world, and the poor in Bangladesh, in Kenya, in Senegal, or anywhere else. They have capacity if we don't block them. So, for those of you who like to do good, I want to encourage you to keep encouraging microfinance and this goal to help people do good, but don't block them. Don't think that you know better than they do what they need. For those of you who want to earn a lot of money, my advice is earn as much as you can and invest it wisely in microfinance. Thank you very much.